to our first official mental chat. I'm Alice, I'll be your host, and in today's episode I'm going to introduce myself to you and explain you what this podcast is all about and why it is a good idea to listen to it. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Alice. I'm the clinical director of Crossroads Psychology. With over 20 years of experience, I've helped hundreds of people improve their lives. And this is the first podcast to show you how to apply the principles of scientifically proven psychological models such as CBT, mindfulness, and ACT to get unstuck. Because change starts from within. You're listening to the Mental Chats podcast. Welcome back. So, as I was saying, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Alice. I'm a psychologist specialized in cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, and acceptance and commitment therapy. I have over 20 years of experience as a psychologist, and in this time, I worked in many different settings, from running psychodrama workshops in school and youth centers to working for the council, for the National Health Service, and privately. And now I am the clinical director of Crossroads Psychology, a clinic that works in London and online. So I'll be your main host, but I will invite other psychologists, psychiatrists, and other professionals that can share their knowledge of scientifically proven techniques that you can use to improve your mental well-being and therefore your life. Because building the life of your dreams is easy. You identify what you want your life to be about, you make a plan to get there, and you follow the plan with action, right? Right. So it's easy, but it's not that simple. Otherwise, everybody would be living the life of their dream, no? Unfortunately, unhelpful thoughts, difficult emotions, and logistical problems get in the way. Thoughts like, I'm not good enough, or I cannot do this, and who do you think we are, and people will judge me, and all these unhelpful thoughts like that. And difficult emotions like fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of success, disappointment, discouragement, anger, and all the others. So in my mission to share knowledge, break stigma, and to give everyone the tools they need to live a fulfilling life, I'll be running this podcast to help you build the life you want to live by using psychological techniques that are scientifically proven to work in help you to overcome unhelpful thoughts and difficult emotions so that you can make your plan a reality. So somebody once said, a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. And a plan backed up with actions become reality. So I'm here to do my best so that you can take those actions needed to create the life you want to live by overcoming what is stopping you. So save this podcast and share it with friends and family. And for more information about the models of therapy that we use and for some free resources, you can visit our website at crossroadspsychology.co.uk. So now let's start to get to know the tools that we'll be using mainly, which are cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, mindfulness, and acceptance and commitment therapy or ACT. But as I said, we'll not be talking only about these three. We will be talking about compassion focused therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, EMDR. But for today, let's start to know what cognitive behavioral therapy is. So cognitive behavioral therapy is the most studied and proven of the psychological model. In fact, it has become the golden standard for most psychological difficulties. So the theory behind cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT is that in any given situation, our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensation, and actions are all interlinked with each other and influence each other, right? So while I don't have much control over my physical symptoms or my emotion, I've got some, but not so much, I definitely have control over my behavior, and there are techniques to distance myself or challenge unhelpful thoughts. So cognitive behavioral, because by changing the way I think, cognitive, or what I do, behavioral, I can influence the way I feel, both emotionally and physically. And if I influence the way I feel, that in return influence the way I behave. And then the way I behave changes the response that I get from the environment. And so situation after situation, then this changed my life. I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm walking down the street and a friend walks past me and I say hi and she knows me. Okay. So if I feel, how dare she, how rude, right? I might be feeling angry. And I might call her up and argue, or I might not call her ever again and lose a friend. Okay. So if in the same situation, I think, of course, she didn't say hi to me, I'm a loser, I'm a nobody, I might feel depressed, and then might go home and comfort it, for example. And that, of course, has got all the consequence of comfort eating. If in the same situation, I think, I wonder if everything is okay with her, she looked lost in her thoughts, I'm not be feeling angry or depressed. I might be feel compassionate or generally well with myself anyway. And I might call her, but just to ask her if everything is okay with her, right? And so the response of the environment changes. And that changes the relationship, in this case, with that person. So the way I is not the situation, is the way I interpret the situation that determines how I feel in that situation, that determines what I do in that situation, that determines then how the world responds to me. And how the world responds to me determines then I interpret that response, and that interpretation determines how I feel, that determines what I do, and so on and so on and so on, in a cycle of emotion, feelings, bodily sensations, and action, all interlinked with each other. So this is kind of theoretical model we are going to be using in this podcast. And to this, we are going to add mindfulness. So mindfulness is a mind training. It's a training of the mind to train the mind to stay focused in the present moment. Why is that important? That is important because by stay focused in the present moment, I become aware of my thoughts, of my interpretations, and of my feelings. And I cannot change what I'm not aware of. So without mindfulness, I will be reacting on autopilot rather than choosing my response in a situation. Okay, so mindfulness is kind of is a development of meditation, but while the aim of meditation is to connect with an higher power and so on, the aim of mindfulness is to train the mind to stay focused in the present moment. And this has lots of benefits. First of all, in terms of mental health, stay focused in the present, increase your well-being and your response to stressful situation. Also, when our mind goes into the future, what if this happened, and what if that happened, and what do I do with this, and what do I do with that, I feel anxiety. When our mind goes into the past, and why this has happened to me, and why that has happened to me, and this always happened to me, and I remember all the past mistake of my life, I feel depressed. While in the here and now, moment by moment, instant by instant, there is no reason to be anxious, there is no reason to be depressed. In most moments in life, there is no reason to be anxious, no reason to be depressed. If I'm able to keep my mind in the present with me. So in this moment, I'm talking to you, you're listening to me, there is no reason to be anxious, there is no reason to be depressed. And then again, mindfulness gives me that space to choose my response. And that when we come to acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, which is a development of cognitive behavioral therapy, which utilizes mindfulness to create a different relationship with thoughts and feelings and see them for what they are, mental or emotional events that I can always choose if I want to go along with that thought and feeling, or if I want to choose a different response in line with my values. So acceptance and commitment therapy introduces the concept of values and of willingness. And this is, what do I want my life to be about, and what kind of person I want to be in terms of values. And willingness, if this is what I want my life to be about, and this is the person I want to be, am I willing to do what it takes to create it? Am I willing to experience the stress, the anxiety, the fear, the disappointment, the discouragement that will eventually come, on occasions, on my journey to create the life I want to live. And we will be talking more, about CBT, mindfulness and ACT and other things. And we will be talking about specific difficulties like stress and all the anxiety disorders and depression and the trauma response and bipolar. And as I said, I will be inviting experts to talk about ADHD and personality disorder and other things. So the road is long. I'm super excited to get started with this podcast. So I hope you will come with me on this journey and that we will get to know each other as well along the way. So do tag me on the gram at crossroads.psychology.uk or DM me on Facebook, again, crossroads.psychology.uk. And share this podcast so that more people can benefit from this knowledge. And if you have any question, or you want me to address a specific topic, or you would like to be featured on the podcast because you are an expert, then you can just send me an email at mentalchats@crossroadspsychology.co.uk. See you next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If so, leave us a great review and share this episode with friends and family. This will help us reach more people and improve more lives. You can also follow crossroads.psychology.uk on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Mastering scientifically proven psychological techniques is the most effective and fastest way to overcome the stress, anxiety, and low mood stopping you from creating the life you want to live. And we have plenty of free resources for you to use on the courses page of our website, crossroadspsychology.co.uk. Go and use them. And let me know your thoughts by tagging crossroads.psychology.uk on your socials. I'll see you online.